Hello everyone. Welcome to Youth Power Academy. Today is 14th July and we are going to start our current affairs class. The first article uh, related to art and culture is about Bhanu Bhakt Acharya. इनका 212th बर्थ एनिवर्सरी था और डिफरेंट prominent leaders like CM of West Bengal, Sikkim, Assam, and other prominent leaders have paid homage to the Nepali poet Bhanu Bhakt Acharya on his 212th birth anniversary. Bhanu Bhakt Acharya, he was a pivotal figure in Nepali literature and he translated Ramayana into colloquial Nepali and it made the epic accessible to the common people. मतलब इन्होंने नेपाली में इसका जो रामायण है उसको ट्रांसलेट किया नेपाली लैंग्वेज में and because of that Nepali people were able to read Ramayan properly. And the celebrations known as Bhanu Jayanti, it marks the birth anniversary of Adi Kavi. He is known as first poet or Adi Kavi of Nepali language. And it is observed by the global Nepali community on Asar 29, that is July 13th of every year. हर साल की 13 जुलाई को ये जो है वो सेलिब्रेशन होता है और इन्होंने काफी अपना जो है वो कंट्रीब्यूशन किया नेपाली लिटरेचर में ट्रांसलेट किया तो इससे जो इंडिया नेपाल रिलेशन है ये भी स्ट्रांग हुआ एक नेशनल यूनिटी और कल्चरल अवेकनिंग को प्रमोट करने का काम इन्होंने किया ही वॉज बॉर्न इन रमघा तनाहु डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ नेपाल. So sometimes these kinds of personalities they may ask in thesis examination or other. तो we should know कि हाँ भानु भक्त आचार्य कौन थे कहाँ के थे और since he is called first poet in Nepali literature, so it might be asked some in some way. Then next, CBSE has announced that a third language will not be part of the board exam for students entering class 10 from 27-28 academic year, but it remains a mandatory component for receiving the secondary school examination pass certificate. That means कि अगर the student want to get his or her passing certificate, he must have passed the examination of the third language. So it is very clear कि there will be a school based assessment R3 is assessment in class 10th, and if the student failed this internal assessment in their crucial board year, schools are required to reassess them. मतलब एक स्कूल को फिर से एग्जामिनेशन कराना होगा before declaring the final results. And it was the detail of the announcement is through a circular has announced on July 10. The circular further clarifies that class 9 student failing the school-based R3 assessment will still be promoted to class 10 for the academic year of 27-28. However, this student must clear the pending class 9 R3 assessment while studying in class 10. मतलब प्रमोट किया जाएगा फेल नहीं किया जाएगा बट उसको फिर से इसको लैंग्वेज के जो एग्जाम है उसको पास करना पड़ेगा. This policy follows an earlier CBSE circular from July 29, which stated that the three language formula would be applicable from class 6 onwards, starting in 26-27, requiring students to learn three languages with two being native to India. मतलब two Indian languages को करना होगा और one can be any other language. Exceptions are made for students in class 7, 8 and 9 who had already opted to learn an additional foreign languages besides English. पहले क्या होता था previously students in class 9 had the option to drop the third language, but June 29 and July 10. CBSE guidelines have made it compulsory from the academic year 26-27 for class 6 onwards and for class 10 in 27-28. These new circulars do not affect the current class 10th बैच इन 26-27। तो जो ये अभी का बैच है इस पे ये सर्कुलर्स का जो है वो इफेक्ट नहीं होगा। Ministry of Education has responded to writ petitions challenging the CBSE circulars on the three language policy. Petitioners has sought the reversal of the earlier April 9 position that had effectively deferred the compulsory third language implementation as at class 9 level until 29-30 academic session. Center's response emphasizes that education falls under the concurrent list of the Constitution, implying shared responsibility between union and state governments for implementing the National Education Policy 2020. The center has urged that the implementation of three language policy serves significant public objectives. Government का कहना है कि he is trying to promote multilingualism, and by promoting Indian languages, it is going to preserve the Indian languages and it will enhance the cognitive development of the learner, and it inculcate a national integration value of national integration, and it promotes cultural diversity. तो ये सारी जो है ये पॉइंट्स है गवर्नमेंट के आर्ग्यू के पीछे कि जो है वो ये करना है हमें थर्ड लैंग्वेज को जो हमें लागू करना है जो हमारा 2020 का जो नेशनल न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी है उसके अकॉर्डिंग इसमें कहा गया है एक फ्रेमवर्क बनाया गया है विच एम फॉर इंडिया टू ब्रिंग significant reforms in curriculum, pedagogy, and educational structure. So, like in the article, we have learned about the concurrent list. So, it might ask ki in which list education comes. So, 7th schedule of the Constitution of India, it enumerates subjects on which both the union and state governments can make law. There are some subjects on which only central government makes law. There are some subjects on which only state governments can make law, but education is in concurrent list. That means that both जो state government है और जो central government है दोनों education से related laws को बना सकते हैं और इसको जो है वो further pursue कर सकते हैं। तो ये आपके लिए थोड़ा सा important रहेगा। थ्री लैंग्वेज पॉलिसी की अगर हम बात करें तो ये भी important है। Three language formula was first introduced in 1968 to promote national integration and understanding among different parts of India. The aim of this policy was that government want the students to learn a modern Indian language from a different state along with Hindi and English. NEP has sought to revitalize the formula. It emphasizes on benefits of early language learning, including cognitive development and deeper appreciation of India's diverse linguistic heritage. Some states are against the three language policy, and that's why they have filed petition in Supreme Court. So we have to see ki what comes after the decision, but ये अभी पॉलिसी है और सीबीएसई ने अपने recent circulars में सीबीएसई हैज क्लियर कि हाँ जो हाँ 10th के जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं उनको पढ़ना होगा थर्ड लैंग्वेज और असेसमेंट उसका स्कूल बेस्ड होगा उसके लिए उनको बोर्ड एग्जामिनेशन में अपीयर नहीं होना है और उनको पास करना होगा तभी दे विल गेट देयर हाई स्कूल सर्टिफिकेट। तो आप हमसे चैनल पे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा कनेक्ट होइए और चैनल को लाइक करिए, सब्सक्राइब करिए, अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ शेयर करिए। Next, Supreme Court stayed a May 27 order from Madras High Court that mandated a statewide prohibition on the slaughter of cows and calves in Tamil Nadu. Or the decision came following a special leave petition by the new government, TBK-led government. The state government challenged the High Court's order, arguing that it contradicted the provisions of the Tamil Nadu Animal Preservation Act of 1958. This act permits the slaughter of cows over 1 year of age if a competent authority deems them unfit for work and breeding. तो जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट की बेंच है comprising Justice Vikram Nath, Sandeep Mehta, they acknowledge that the High Court order required correction on a prima facie basis. Consequently, the bench issued a notice on the state government appeal and stayed the operation of the High Court's directive imposing a complete ban on cow slaughter. तो ये एक काफी एक इश्यू रहा भी है शुरू से। अब जैसे कि जो है काउस हैं, जैसे कि अभी होता है कि बैन कर देना चाहिए काउ स्लॉटर को कंप्लीटली, बट इनके बैन करने के बाद क्या इम्प्लीकेशंस हो सकते हैं? पॉपुलेशन बढ़ जाती है, बहुत से स्टेट्स में काऊ मीट लोग खाते भी हैं, तो वहां पे क्या है, वहां पे अलग तरह के इश्यूज रहते हैं, या फर्दर उनका जो स्किन वगैरह है उसको यूटिलाइज करने के लिए स्लॉटर किया जाता है, तो तमाम इसमें जो है वो इश्यूज रहते हैं। और अगर हम तमिलनाडु की बात करें तो यहाँ पे एक स्टेट लॉ है जो कि गवर्न करता है कि कैसे जो कैटल है उसका जो है प्रिजर्वेशन करना चाहिए, क्या स्लॉटर की पॉलिसीज होनी चाहिए। इसमें कई सारी कंडीशन है, डिफरेंट डिफरेंट कैटेगरीज में इसको डिस्टिंग्विश किया गया है। और दे वांट टू मेंटेन अ बैलेंस बिटवीन एनिमल वेलफेयर कंसर्न एंड एट द सेम टाइम इकोनॉमिक एंड ट्रेडिशनल प्रैक्टिसेस दैट आर रिलेटेड टू लाइफ स्टॉक। और अगर हम काउ स्लॉटर की बात करें तो इट्स वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स इन इंडिया, इसके डिफरेंट रेगुलेशंस हैं अक्रॉस डिफरेंट स्टेट्स। रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट्स जो भी ये भी इन्फ्लुएंस होते हैं, एग्रीकल्चर पॉलिसीज भी इनसे इन्फ्लुएंस होती है। अब देखना होगा कि फर्दर फिर इसमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट का आगे और क्या आता है। फिर नेक्स्ट जजमेंट आया है सुप्रीम कोर्ट का, इसमें उन्होंने एक मैंडेट किया है दैट द डिटर्मिनेशन ऑफ सिटीजनशिप एंड फॉरेनर स्टेटस मस्ट बी कंडक्टेड थ्रू अ फेयर, लॉफुल एंड रीजन प्रोसेस। The court has set aside 27 Guwahati High Court judgments and declared appellants as foreigners and remanded these cases back to the concerned foreigners tribunal for fresh adjudication. तो बेंच थी जस्टिस विक्रम नाथ एंड संदीप मेहता का, इन्होंने एम्फेसाइज किया कि दैट वाइल द स्टेट हैज अ लेजिटिमेट इंटरेस्ट इन प्रिवेंटिंग इल एलिजिबल इंडिविजुअल्स फ्रॉम ऑब्टेनिंग इंडियन सिटीजनशिप थ्रू फॉल्स क्लेम, जैसे कि कोई बाहर का है और फॉल्सली क्लेम करे कि वो इंडिया का है, एंड द सीवियर consequences of being declared a foreigner necessitates a procedure that adheres to constitutional guarantees, but at the same time उन्होंने बोला कि जो भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में गारंटी प्रोवाइड किए गए हैं इंडिविजुअल्स को, जो उनके राइट्स हैं, उसको जो प्रोसीजर है वो फेयर होना चाहिए, लॉफुल होना चाहिए, प्रॉपर तरीके से देखना चाहिए। ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आर्बिट्रेरी जो स्टेट एक्शंस होते हैं इनकी वजह से जो कोई भी इंडिविजुअल जो है उसका एक लीगल प्रोटेक्शन है और वो जो है वो खत्म हो। और और इसमें कोर्ट ने फर्दर क्लैरिफाइड किया कि द proceedings resulting in a foreigner declaration must not be mechanical, one-sided, or deployed of application of mind. Court highlighted that the tribunal must examine whether the individual received a fair opportunity, if the main grounds were disclosed, if the evidence supported the reference, और जो conclusion है that should be logical followed from the material on record. तो ये है। और इसके प्रीवियसली जो गुवाहाटी हाई कोर्ट का जजमेंट आया था हैड डिसमिस्ड अपील्स अगेंस्ट फॉरेनर ट्रिब्यूनल ऑर्डर्स डीमिंग द appellants foreigners after noting that their non appearance despite receiving notices, की उनको notices गया बट वो appear नहीं हुए, तो इस बेसिस पे जो फॉरेनर ट्रिब्यूनल था उसने ऑर्डर कर दिया कि ये फॉरेनर्स हैं, इंडियन सिटीजन्स नहीं है, तो इसको लेके विवाद था। और इसमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने फर्दर क्लैरिफाई किया कि दिस रिमांड शुड नॉट बी इंटरप्रेटेड एज एन अफर्मेशन ऑफ द एप्लीकेंट्स क्लेम टू इंडियन सिटीजनशिप। उन्होंने रिमाइंड किया कि ये अफर्म नहीं कर रहे हैं कि नहीं कि हाँ ये अगर हमने ऐसा ऑर्डर दिया तो ये इंडियन सिटीजन हो गए। प्रॉपर प्रोसीजर फॉलो करना चाहिए और फेयर तरीके से डिटरमिन करना चाहिए जो प्रोसेस है कि जो सिटीजनशिप का जो क्लेम है दैट इज करेक्ट और नॉट। फर्दर डिफेंस इन सिक्योरिटी, Indian Navy operates as a primary security provider under the Indian Ocean region, and it has a coastline of around approximately 11,098 kilometers, an exclusive economic zone which spanning nearly 2.4 million square kilometers. And the sea lanes are are vital for close to 90% of India's trade by volume. Indian Navy has strengthened its power over the last 1 month period. New inductions and indigenous projects have started. And the example of this is Nilgiri class steel frigates, which are being built under Project 17A for high intensity operation. ये जो advanced frigates हैं, these are designed with reduced radar, thermal, and acoustic signatures to provide uh, significant improvement in survivability and in combat scenarios. What is Project 17A? They can ask it. It represents the Indian Navy's cutting edge stealth frigate program, which aims to construct seven next generation guided missile warships. These frigates are engineered for multi mission roles, and in these there are anti-air, anti-surface, anti-submarine warfare that reflects the growth of Indian strength in self-reliant warship design and construction. Nilgiri class includes INS Nilgiri, INS Himgiri, INS Taragiri, INS Udaygiri, INS Donagiri, and recently, yesterday, INS Mahendragiri was inducted, and there is an under construction Vindhyagiri frigate. INS Dunagiri was recently commissioned as the fifth vessel of the class, and INS Mahendragiri was inducted as the sixth vessel on July 11, 2026 at Visakhapatnam. The key specification of Project 17A Nilgiri class steel frigates include a length of approximately 149 meters and displacement of about 6,670 tons. So they can ask about it. This will be important for your prelims examination. And they are powered by combined diesel or gas CODOG system, enabling both range and speed, and they can travel with a maximum speed of 28 knots. Project 78 significantly advances the legacy of previous stealth frigate classes like Russian designed Talwar class and India's first indigenous Shivalik class. एंड बिसाइड्स दीज जो इंडिया का मैरीटाइम पावर है ये और इम्प्रूव हुआ है डीप अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ बाय द डीप अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द सीज achieved through vessels like indigenous Sandhyak class survey vessel. This class comprises INS Sandhyak, INS Nirdeshak, INS Ishak, or INS Sanchotak. These all are built by Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineering Limited, and it has strengthened India's hydrographic capability by mapping seabed, gathering ocean data, and producing accurate nautical charts for safe navigation. INS Sanshodhak was commissioned on June 21, and June 21 is celebrated as World Hydrography Day. All these information are relevant and important. Um, For closer to coastline defense, anti-marine warfare forms another critical layer, and there are indigenous Arnala class anti-submarine warfare shallow water crafts. This eight-ship class includes INS Arnala, Androth, Andaji, Amini, Abhay, Agray, Akshay, and Ajay. These all are also made by Garden Reach Builders and Engineering Limited. Thereafter, a parallel Mahe class is also under construction at Cochin Shipyard, which aims for a total of 16 anti-submarine warfare shallow water craft to secure the waters and freeing longer warships for open ocean operations. और इसमें अगर हम देखें तो एक इंडिया का एक स्ट्रैटेजी है, इंडिया ने एक लॉन्च किया था अपना इनिशिएटिव सागर, दैट इज सिक्योरिटी एंड ग्रोथ फॉर ऑल इन द रीजन. in 2015 to enhance the security in its immediate Indian Ocean neighborhood. Thereafter, it expanded its vision with Mahasagar. That is, they can ask the full form like what is Sagar or what is Mahasagar. It is mutual and holistic advancement for security and growth across region to foster partnerships across the global south. So, by these, Indian Navy is inducting new capabilities and platforms to secure its maritime interest and project power. Uh, these include Nilgiri class steel frigates, Sandhya class survey vessels, Arnala class anti-submarine warfare shallow water crafts. So they can ask the name and about the frigates that it is related to Project 17A or Arnala class. They can ask about their name. So these things will be important for your prelims examinations. And these inductions has enhances the ability of Indian Navy to conduct multi-mission operations, improving its hydrographic mapping, and it has strengthened India's ability to secure its coastal areas, its defense, and also it has established India as a major player in Indian Ocean region. So these all these things will be important for your examination. Next, there was a news regarding wildlife trafficking और जो डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ रेवेन्यू इंटेलिजेंस है इट हैज कंडक्टेड नेशनवाइड ऑपरेशंस एंड थ्रू दीज ऑपरेशन इट हैज सक्सेसफुली बस्टेड several wildlife trafficking networks across country. With coordinated effort, they have seized over 440 endangered protected wildlife animal and species. And during the operation, they have covered 15 kilogram of ivory articles. Ivory means elephant articles and elephant ivory. तो जैसे कि इसमें पूछ सकता है कि अगर आपका अभी जो रिसेंट ये सीजर हुआ है इसमें 11 किलोग्राम ऑफ एलिफेंट आइवरी को इन्होंने जो है वो सीज किया. So, Indian elephant, its name is Elephas maximus. It is a protected species. So, they can ask, like, इसमें है कि it comes under Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. ये पूछ सकते हैं कि it is protected under which act, yeah, it comes in under which schedule, yeah, they can give two or three options or related to all these things. तो ये important इस तरह से रहेगा. और commercial trade in ivory is prohibited in India. It is aligned with the country's obligations under the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Flora, Wild Fauna and Flora. Both the import and export of ivory are banned under India's foreign trade policy. So this will be important for exam. Also in prelims, they can ask about DRI, what is Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, that is an Indian intelligence and enforcement agency. It comes under Ministry of Finance. The point to be noted here is that it comes under Ministry of Finance because the students can confuse that it will come under Ministry of Environment. So this aspect is important that it comes under the Ministry of Finance and it is responsible for combating smuggling and other economic crimes. Similarly, Wildlife Protection Act 1972, it is very important. It is an act of Parliament of India and it aims for protection of plants and animal species and it establishes schedules for varying degree of protection कि किस species का कितना जो है वो एक प्रोटेक्शन है तो उसमें ये इसमें काफी सारे शेड्यूल्स हैं तो जैसे मैंने अभी बताया कि एलिफेंट जो है शेड्यूल 1 में जो है वो इसको प्रोटेक्शन प्रोवाइड किया गया है. Similarly, sometimes they have asked about CITES. What is CITES? It is Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Flora and Fauna. It is an international agreement between governments that aim to ensure that international trade in specimens of wild and animal species does not threaten their survival. इनका पोचिंग होता है इनका स्मगलिंग होता है तो इससे स्पीशीज पे कोई प्रॉब्लम ना हो तो ऑल दीज थिंग्स विल बी रेलिवेंट. आप चैनल पे हमसे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जुड़े रहिए और डेली करंट अफेयर्स की जो मैगज़ीन्स हैं ये इम्पोर्टेंट हैं और जो-जो इन्फॉर्मेशन आपको दी जाती है ये कहीं न कहीं एग्ज़ाम में आपके आ सकता है, तो इन पे आप स्पेशल एम्फेसिस जो है वो दिया करिए। नेक्स्ट डिफेंस मिनिस्टर राजनाथ सिंह and Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways and Uttar Pradesh CM Yogi Adityanath. They will inaugurate Lucknow Kanpur Expressway. Inauguration ceremony will took place today, and it will take place at 49 kilometer on the expressway. The newly constructed 63 kilometer 6-lane Kanpur Expressway boasts India's second longest elevated corridor. uh, it is a significant technological advancement. It is the first expressway in the country to utilize automated and intelligent machine guided construction technology. And it has designed with modern safety and efficiency features. It incorporates AI based speed enforcement system and emergency cell boxes, which are positioned every 2 kilometers. This expressway is anticipated to drastically reduce the travel time between Lucknow and Kanpur, and it will bring down the time from 35. It will bring down the time to 35 to 45 minutes. The toll for cars has been set up to 275 rupees. So this will be important for UPSC prelims examination. The next important news is related to Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, and the ministry has, in collaboration with Drone Federation India, has launched second edition of the National Innovation Challenge for Drone Application and Research NIDR 2.0 for the period of 26-27. This initiative operates under the Swayan program which was originally approved in July 22. तो ये पूछा जा सकता है. And initially it has the outlay of nearly 90 crore rupees. The goal of Swayan is to cultivate a skilled workforce. मतलब ऐसा workforce हमें बनाना है जो कि skilled हो, और it is very important for the growth and development of India's drone sector. It presents a challenge to students and it gives them a task to build sophisticated drones that are powered by India-made chips. And ministry emphasized that NIDR 2.0 it elevates the challenge beyond merely just operating drones. It focuses on developing drones brain, and there is a shift towards more advanced technological integration and intelligence. तो ये निडर क्या है, इससे रिलेटेड चीजें पूछी जा सकती हैं, किस मिनिस्ट्री से रिलेटेड है, और these things are key component of India's Making India and आत्म भारत initiative. ठीक है, या निडर का पूरा जैसे इट इज नेशनल इनोवेशन चैलेंज, तो ये भी they can ask in your examination. Next, Anil Menon. He is an Indian origin NASA astronaut and is scheduled to embark on an 8-month mission to the International Space Station. He will be accompanied by two Russian cosmonauts, Pyotr Dobrov and Anna Kikina, as part of 75th expedition to the orbital laboratory. The mission will utilize the Roscosmos Soyuz spacecraft, and it will lift off from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. The launch is scheduled for 8:17 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Anil Menon is currently 49-year-old and he was born in Minneapolis to Ukrainian and Indian immigrants. तो इनका नाम जैसे है कि पूछा जा सकता है कि ही इज रिलेटेड टू विच मिशन, तो क्योंकि ये इंडियन ओरिजिन के हैं तो दैट विल बी इम्पोर्टेंट. Then Indian Space Research Organization ISRO has successfully completed 3 significant tests for Gaganyaan crew module system. The first test focused on the crew module uprighting system. जैसे इसमें जो मॉड्यूल है इसको upright किया जाएगा. That is a crucial safety feature designed to orient the crew module upright आफ्टर इट लैंड्स इन द सी पोस्ट मिशन, मतलब जब मिशन के बाद लैंडिंग हो तो ये स्ट्रेट रहे। दिस सिस्टम यूटिलाइजेस stored coal gas technology, जैसे ये पूछा जा सकता है, to ensure a stable return position for the astronaut. The second test, जो मतलब थ्री टेस्ट हुए, तो जो सेकंड टेस्ट है, it validated the separation mechanism between the crew module and the service module. This is operational for operational integrity, essential for operational integrity of the spacecraft. It consists of two units, CSU-1 on the crew module and CSU-2 on the service module. During re-entry, the service module separates from the crew module. After CSU or a crew module system disconnects with CSU-2 after also separating just before the final, मतलब जब एंट्री करती है, जैसे कि हमें पता है कि जो गगनयान मिशन है, our aim is to send Indian astronauts with our Gaganyaan mission. It is India's first human space flight program, and we will send astronauts to space. So these tests are very important because ISRO is conducting these tests to assess the structural integrity of the crew module, that what will happen when the shuttle will come back to Earth. So these tests are very important. So we have to know कि हाँ ये क्या क्या है, क्या क्या चीजें हैं, ये भी मतलब पूछा नहीं जाएगा, बट हाँ वी हैव टू बी इन्फॉर्म्ड अबाउट ऑल दीज थिंग्स। बट गगनयान क्या है, मतलब ये पूछ सकते हैं, या व्हाट वी आर एमिंग, और कोल गैस टेक्नोलॉजी दे कैन आस्क अबाउट इट, कि इट इज अ propulsion system that uses compressed gases. Similarly, umbilical mechanism, that is a connection system that provides power, data, and fluids between different part of spacecraft. तो ये things जो है ये पूछी जा सकती हैं। लास्ट स्पोर्ट्स में इंडियन वुमेन्स क्रिकेट टीम, इनकी कैप्टन है हरमनप्रीत कौर. They have secured a historic victory in one of test match against England at Lords, and it was the first ever women's test match played at the iconic value, that is Lords, and India comfortably defeated England by a margin of 270 runs. So it was uh, there was a target of 457 run which was set by India, and England was bowled off for 186 run. तो ये था स्पोर्ट्स का। बाकी विंबलडन से रिलेटेड जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन थी वो कल आप लोगों को हमने करा दिया था कंप्लीट। तो आप हमसे चैनल पे ज्यादा से ज्यादा जुड़िए, चैनल को लाइक करिए, सब्सक्राइब करिए, हमसे कनेक्ट होइए, अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ भी शेयर करिए। Magazine you can download from the link provided in the description of in our YouTube channel. So we will meet in the next class.